How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Big Daddy Dave, and this is a map tour for a new mob map to Farming Simulator 22 called Imvani South Africa. And we're going to start with the description from the mod hub, and it reads: a peaceful South African map where you can be wild and free. Features: 8 farmlands, 15 fields, 4 self-owned fields in New Farmer. In order to sell fruit from the storage silos, they must be loaded onto trucks and transported to sell point. Small to large fields, ample startup fleet. This map was created by Farmer Bob and is 187.4 megabytes to download. There are no mods required for this map, and the map looks like this. You start out here on the western portion of the map, just on the kind of driveway to your main farm. And you start out by owning farmland number 2, which contains your main starting farm, a field that contains soybeans that is in growing, a cotton field that is growing, sorghum field that is growing, a corn field that is ready to harvest, and a grass field that is growing. The rest of the map is very, very, very expensive. Very expensive. Let's take a look at all of them because there's not that many. $1.9 million. This is a forestry area that is going to be very difficult to cut down because it's on the side of a hill, a very large hill. Maybe even some might say a small mountain. This one here, Farmland 3, 2.6, almost $2.7 million. That's, again, a lot of money. This is a farm right here, $2.7 million. Up in the corner, some more forestry, $881,000, one of the cheaper ones. This here, another farm, 3.3, almost $3.4 million. Tons and tons and tons of money. And lastly, $1 million. It's very expensive. You're not going to be buying much anytime soon. Let's see. All areas of the map are not purchasable. You have this chunk of the map that you cannot purchase right here where there's a lot of the sell points and productions and things like that. You do start out with animals on this map. Contracts are available, and because they're such massive fields, they're pretty good in their payout. You know, you got a $66,000 payout right here for a canola field harvest. No production chains to start out with, and collectibles are available. Now, if we take a look at mods specific to this map, there is nothing under the buy menu. As you can see, no mods and DLC tab on the left-hand side. And under the build menu, if we take a look under sheds, there is nothing here, but under silos, scroll all the way to the right, there is the Imvani South Africa mod at the far right-hand side, 2 of them. And then nothing under silo extensions, containers, tools, or farmhouses. Then if we take a look under productions, there's nothing here under any of these. Under animals and cows, we take a look, there is the Imvani South Africa mod right there, so that is one that is specific to this map, but nothing for horses, pigs, sheep, chickens, bees, or others. And then under decorations, there's nothing under this tab whatsoever, and the same thing for landscaping. Now, I am going to kind of go out of order when I kind of originally did this tour because, or not the original tour, but the original walkthrough. I originally went down the driveway to go to the farm, and to go around the rest of the map at 30 miles an hour, it kind of took a while. So with a short walk over in this direction, we'll be able to get to the shop and purchase a pickup truck that'll kind of help things along and go a little bit faster, I think. So we'll make our way just around the corner here to our first point of interest, which is here. This is the sawmill. You can purchase the sawmill for $100,000. Wood chip output there. Your wood input here with a wood cell trigger there, and your production output right there. Now coming around the corner here, we have our shop trigger just right here, and I will go ahead and use it to purchase a pickup. And then over here is a repair trigger. Over here we have our spinnery. For 60,000 you can purchase this. And you have your inputs here and your outputs here. This is where the truck and all your equipment pops out. It's just across the way. Directly in front of me is a gas station. Over here is the Imvani Bales sell point. We have a train silo just over here, the input to the left and output to the right. You have a train input and output. Let me see if I can squeeze. Nope, I can't squeeze through there. Here I can. You have your train input and output right there. And tucked just behind here is a rent train trigger right there. And then right over here is the animal dealer. Now you can come to this location or use the pens and pastures you have pre-installed onto the map to be able to purchase animals. Now I will say this, if you use this icon or the icon at the pens and pastures directly, you will incur an additional fee. That fee is associated to a delivery fee. So it's basically the animal dealer is taking the animals from this location and delivering it to the pen that you are wanting to put the animals in. Now you can save that money by coming to this location with an animal trailer, whether it's leased, whether it's owned, it doesn't matter. Bring the animal trailer to this location, load directly into the animal trailer, and then take the animals to the pens or pastures that you have yourself, and it'll save that money. Now you can see here, if I were to purchase for the sheep barn, if I were to purchase one of the baby sheeps, that's $30, one of the adults, $50. So it adds up very, very quickly. Cows are even more expensive. An adult cow is $100 per cow. So it's one of those things that you can save money on if you're doing enough of it. And then tucked around back here, right here, we have the Boxer Imvani sell point. And right there you had the kind of grains input, and here you have kind of the containers and pallets that can be sold here as well. So now we're going to head back where we started, kind of show off the main farm, but at least now we can do it going 70 miles an hour as opposed to coming here. Whoops, I forgot this is left side drive. But yeah, you'll see exactly why I wanted to get the truck right here. So we're going to open the gates. This is the starting farm, but it's a very, very long driveway. If I would have walked over, so one, I would have had to walk all the way over where those buildings are before we even got to a tractor, and then I would have had to have driven around the rest of the map at 30 miles an hour. So this kind of, I think, works out a lot better. Alright, so we are here at the starting farm. Let's go ahead and turn this off. And let's take a look at the starting equipment. So under the buy menu, under own items, we have under small tractors a Massey Ferguson 5S105. Medium tractors, a Massey Ferguson 6713S. Harvesters, we have a John Deere T560. Cars, that's the one we purchased. Trailers, we have the Rudolph TDK 301RP. The header for the John Deere, and under plows, the Agromaz POV 5XL. And that's it. That's not a large inventory. Here we have one of 3 sheep barns. Each sheep barn holds up to 65 sheep. So now we're going to fire this up and keep going in a little bit deeper. I don't know why I turned that off. All right. Tucked inside the garage here, we have a wardrobe trigger and a sleep trigger. We have a large storage building to my left with all of our equipment just kind of tucked away in there. And then we have a fuel tank in the back and a repair trigger right over here. And then in the very back of the farm, we have a silo. And that is the main farm. Now we go back out the driveway where we came. Like I said, imagine coming down this driveway at 30, I think 32 miles an hour is the maximum my tractor would have gone, as opposed to coming down this way at 74 miles an hour. And now we're going to head out to the east to see the last points of interest. Alright, and here we're going to make a left. Alright, so before we go much further into this tour, I have to kind of point something out. So to the left and to my right are two additional farms. You can see them here and here. Each of them has a farmhouse, a fuel tank, a silo, and then this one over here has a cow shed, or cow barn. Now, here's the problem. You can see that none of them have any icons to indicate that you can do anything with the land or interact with anything. You can't open up any of the barns, nothing. It's just all kind of on lockdown. So normally when you have that, you come to the map, and let's go ahead and check this out before we go too much deeper. We'll show where we've been and what we've seen up to this point. So we started here. We worked our way over to the sawmill, and then the vehicle shop, over to the spinnery, then to the gas station, to the Imvani bales, the grain silo west, which is the train silo, the rent train trigger, and the animal dealer. We then came back out to here to the Boxer Imvani, then left, went to the main farm where we saw the sheep barns, the wardrobe trigger and sleep trigger, came down here, saw the gas station repair trigger and the silo. We then came up and out to here where we are now. So as I was mentioning, there's no buttons or little tokens to indicate, that you have access to anything on these farms. So normally it means you have to buy them. Well, before I bought them, I started clicking on things, trying to click on things, and as you can see, I can't click on anything over here. The icons are here, but I can't do anything about clicking them. So normally you can click on them to kind of warp here. So I thought that was weird, number one, but then I did this. I went and I purchased it. Again, to purchase this, you got to purchase farmland number 5 for $2.7 million. Quite a bit of money again, but we're going to purchase it. This is where I expected to be able to start seeing icons, but I can't see icons. Normally there'd be an icon here for your silo. There would definitely be icons here for your fuel tank. And again, sleep triggers. You would have a sleep trigger here, a wardrobe trigger. None of those are popping up. And if I hop back into the truck and come over to the fuel tank, normally I'd be able to see your refill fuel tank. But you see, I'm right next to it, or refill fuel, and nothing. There's no option that pops up there. So then let's do the same thing over here. But first, let me go into the yard. Okay. So if I go here and purchase farmland number 1 for $3 million, almost $3.4 million. See, again, all the icons are there, but now you can see this popped up. So this appears to be working now, not the one across the street, but fuel tank, same thing as across the street, same thing with the sleep trigger and the wardrobe trigger in there. And the very unfortunate part, same exact thing here for the cow barn. So as best as I can tell, you can see no icons are here. I can't open the door to get into this at all. I mean, there's nothing. I've got no access to this whatsoever. And if I go under animals, which I should be able to see something, I don't have a cow barn associated to this. So I think this is broken. I don't think that this entire area works properly, and I think it's going to require an update going forward. But that's it. That is the entirety of the map. That is Imvani, South Africa. Now it is time to render my opinion. Well, seems that we kind of finished on a bit of a downer. You know, I'm just going to come right out and say it. 0 to 5 scale as per usual. In its current state, I'd give this a 1. In its current state with it broken, it's not something that would prevent anybody from being able to play it, but it prevent anybody from being able to grow on the map. And because there's such little area, like look how much area these two farms take up. It's massive, absolutely massive. That leaves this area here to buy, this forestry area, and this grass field. That's it. There's nothing else besides these two farms to really kind of to go off of. So the fact that these two areas are so badly broken just makes it very, very bad. Hopefully it's a quick and easy fix, be able to get the update out as soon as possible, and you know, not a big deal, and hopefully without a new save required. You know, here's, you know, fingers crossed on that one, because anybody who wants to start something on here could potentially have to, you know, delete anything that they make progress on, because it's possible a new save game will be required. I don't know about that one though. But that's its current state. What would I give this map if those weren't an issue? If the farms worked just fine, if I had access to the cows and the whole 9 yards? Well, I'd probably give this... Well, you know what? Before I go into the final score, what would I kind of say I like and don't like about this map? So what I like about this map is it's actually a very deceptively simple map. And what I mean by that is there's lots and lots of flat. And normally I don't like that. This one, though, I feel is kind of exceptional when it comes to the flatness, because there are undulations. It's just they're strewn about in different areas of the map. But once you reach a kind of a certain area, then it just kind of flattens out and there's nothing much going on, you know, quote unquote. But you get to the backside over here, you get this kind of heightened elevation, you get these huge kind of mountain areas out to the peripheries. I mean, you definitely have things going on, and you definitely have a lot of things to break up the sight lines. You know, the trees are you know, very well used on this map. This particular area, though, I'm not really crazy about. It feels very kind of plunked down, very like here you go kind of thing. I don't know. It just, I can't really describe how it just feels unfinished. This area. Like, it's this, having all these things here is fine. You know, having the train silo, having the animal dealer, and all this stuff here, that's fine. But it just feels just unused and empty. So you've got, I mean, this front area with the sawmill, I like the piles of wood and all this stuff, but I just wish there was just something more. Like, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's not bad. It's just seems empty. It doesn't feel lived in. So it's really hard to kind of get that level of immersion. Then you have a spinnery here, which just seems really out of place. Um, you've got your main dealership here. You've got a gas station, which again, it just feels out of place. I don't know. It just feels like everything was just lumped into one specific area because. And here's the thing: is it like this in South Africa? I don't know. It's certainly possible. One thing I will say that I really do enjoy about this map are the trees, and what I mean specifically are these style of trees directly in front of me. These trees, like, and across the riverbank there, like if you look at a documentary of Africa and South Africa, like these trees, like just really made me feel like one of those documentaries I've seen, and that just really kind of brought me into the immersion. You know, it wasn't until I got to this area where I was kind of pulled out of it again, but then you had the vast expanse of farm. You know, again, that brought me back into it. There's certain things, there's certain elements that I'm like, yes, this is really nice. But then there's others where it's like, not so much. You know, the color palette I feel is kind of off, and specifically when you're looking at the grass, you're seeing these very big pops of orange throughout the entirety of the map, especially when you're driving down the roads. You've got purples, you got yellows and whites. Again, I've never been to South Africa, but that just seems very colorful. Again, I could be misjudging that, but again, like this tree here, this is a perfect example. This massive tree, just, I swear I've seen these trees in the documentaries I've seen. So it really kind of strikes home. Now, the only thing I will say that's kind of a letdown on it is it just seems very rough and unfinished. Like almost like expanded out, almost like the American elm that's just been blown up to look bigger kind of thing, which I'm sure that's probably what that is. But if that's the case, it just looks very pixelated unless you're looking at it from a far enough distance. So it's kind of a win-lose situation. You win some, you lose some. You win some, you lose some. And it's just kind of this back and forth feeling that I get about this map. So with all that kind of said and done, and another thing I like before I render the opinion, I like the fields. The sizes are very huge. And if you're into big fields, then this is a map for you, because you can get some really big equipment on this map, which will be nice. But what will be kind of the bummer about the fields is, or I'm sorry, not the bummer, but the really exciting part about the fields is their shape. They are all very unique, and they're not going to be just, you know, set a worker here and just go kind of thing. It's not going to be boring kind of thing. So I don't know. It's one of those, like, I feel like it's a kind of a 50-50 up the draw, you know, kind of a map, you know. And what was that? I just saw something. Wait. What is that? Oh. Oh, okay, yeah. So that's a problem too. So you got some floating toys all over the area. So I don't know what you're expected to do about that. So yeah, it's that's a thing kind of going on right now. You can see it right there. Anyways, so yeah, it's just one of those. If these issues weren't here, and one of those where you're just kind of taking the map as is, I'd probably give it a 3, maybe somewhere between a 2.5 and 3. You know, it's just one of those that I feel it's kind of one of those up the middle kind of maps. You know, it's got some good, it's got some bad, and that's okay. It's I'm sure there's going to be people who absolutely love the map, kind of thing. You know, and there's going to be others who are going to be either indifferent on it, and there's going to be others who's like, meh, not for me. You know, but I can definitely see the appeal. You know, it's definitely there, and especially this area here. I really like this kind of split farm here, where you've got the whole roadway kind of lined by the nice white picket fence. That's very nice. It's very picturesque and lovely, and I love the massive trees. Like I said, those trees really set this map up, and I really like that as kind of an immersion factor, because again, I've seen those trees, or at least that kind of style of them, in documentaries, in things that I have seen, not firsthand, just, you know, but it's just one of those, like, hey, you know, I recognize that's something I would actually think of when thinking of the area. So that's cool. I like it. But anyways, I think that that about wraps it up. I hope you enjoyed this map tour. If you did, please show me by liking, sharing, subscribing, following, commenting, doing all the things the algorithms enjoy you doing. That shows you're engaged with this channel and enjoying the content. And that being said, I hope you have a fantastic day. Take care.